All right, welcome back, everybody, to a brand new video here on the second channel. Today, we're looking at some brand new cards that got revealed over the past couple days. They're going to be in our March set. These are in the Battle Partner set in Japan. We got a brand new Energy, a new EX Pokemon, a new card that I don't know why they printed a card like this, because there's a very broken combo in the TCG that this card works with, and that might not be very fun for the game. So we'll talk about that when we get there, of course. But yeah, like I said, these will be in our March set. If you want to go check out my other videos looking at cards revealed from Battle Partners, definitely check them out on the channel here. And if you're new here to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and we're getting close. We're less than 1,000 subs away, so if you want to help me reach that goal, make sure to subscribe down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll leave a link to Pokebeach down below if you want to go look at any of the cards for yourself. Let me know what you think of them down in the comment section below, especially the one card we'll talk about. So, start off, we do have a brand new Lycanroc line and a brand new energy card to look at here. So, the new Lycanroc does have the ability Entangling Spikes. When you place Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, during your turn, you may attach up to 2 Spike Energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So, right off the bat, it does have an Energy Acceleration ability, which is pretty nice, right? Being able to put energy on yourself is always good. Now, it is specifically Special Energy. We'll talk about what the Spike Energy does in just a sec, but Energy Acceleration isn't a bad thing. And then you have the attack Grabbing Fangs, which for 3 colorless energy, which you can fill up with your Spike Energy. It does 40 damage. Does 40 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So, you can combine this card with a spread combo to put damage on an opponent. You know, this deck can take some big knockouts. I mean, 40 plus 40 is a pretty solid multiplier. And when your opponent already has, a decent bit of damage on them, this attack is going to take big knockouts. Now, the Spike Energy is obviously what you're going to pair the Lycanroc with. The new Spike Energy is a brand new Special Energy card. It's a colorless energy, but if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and it gets damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it's knocked out, you put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So it's like the tool card Rocky Helmet, right, where you take damage when they attack you. It's not a bad card. It looks like it does stack from the looks of it, so you can have like 4 of these on and put 8 damage on the attacking Pokemon, which is kind of crazy. I mean, on the Lycanroc, the goal is you put 2 on with the ability, and then you probably like attach for turn, maybe put a 3rd Spike Energy on. But ideally, you get the 2 on with the Lycanroc's ability. Lycanroc takes the damage. You put 40 damage on the attacking Pokemon, and then the next Lycanroc you attack with can use Grabbing Fangs for a lot more damage, because now the opponent has 40 damage on the active Pokemon because of the initial Spike Energy, which is really cool. So it's not a bad card. Another thing to note, too, it's kind of funny against Budew. If Budew continues to be relevant in the new format, it might be in rotation. It's possible. Spike Energy can be pretty annoying against Budew. Well, Budew won't like Spike Energy, I should say, right? Because the Spike Energy will be awkward against Budew. So I don't think the Special Energy card is like anything crazy. Like, I don't think Lugia would have played it nowadays if Lugia was in the format still. So probably not like gonna see play outside of its own archetype. Well, I could be wrong though, but I don't really see any other use for it. But like I said, it's not bad with Lycanroc. Lycanroc isn't bad. It does have 120 HP, so it's a little fragile, obviously. But I mean, it does have a decent attack and a good ability with a decent energy that combines with the attack. So it's a little built-in engine here, which is quite nice. All right, next up is the brand new Dudunsparce EX. Now, this is actually not a bad card in hindsight, in theory, because, of course, there's already a decent Dudunsparce in the format with the one with Runaway Draw. So keep that in mind when building a deck with Dudunsparce, because now we have an EX. And we got this new Dudunsparce EX here, 270 HP, colorless stage 1 Pokemon with the attack Adversity Tail. For 1 colorless energy, it does 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX in play. That's not a bad attack. Now, keep in mind, when this card releases, V Pokemon will be all but gone with rotation. So, this deck can actually be pretty good against decks that rely on just putting EXs in play. I mean, a lot of the big basic decks do that, like Miraidon, if it stays around, will do that. Raging Bolt would still probably do that. So, it's not a bad attack, right? 60 damage times is not a bad multiplier. Dudunsparce is pretty bulky with 270 HP. It's got another attack here with Drill Break for 3 colorless energy. Does 150 damage. And this attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so it looks like it does have a Shred attack, which is nice. Honestly, looking at this card, it's kind of funny against, like, control-style archetypes, because you get a Jonjon with the Dudunsparce that can, like, honestly, like, move in and out of the active spot, so you can't really get it trapped, and then you have a Shred attacker with this Dudunsparce, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I think the main reason to play this card would be for that first attack. Adversity Tail is not a bad attack. 1 for 60 isn't too shabby. Like I said, decks like Miraidon, where they're going to probably put like 4, 5 EX Pokemon in play, makes this card quite good. We'll have to see how the format looks with these decks like that play all these EXs. But it's not a bad card at all. And again, it is nice that it does already have a decent Dudunsparce in the format with a draw engine. And keep in mind, we are losing some good draw cards, like Bibarel's rotating, Rotom, Lumineon. Like, a good amount of, like, these draw cards are rotating. So there's a chance Dudunsparce actually just ends up seeing play in some decks as a draw engine. And now we have a reason to then also play the Dudunsparce EX index. I kind of like that. So it's not a bad card at all. I don't think we got the optimal Dunsparce, though. It's got a 1 retreat cost. And there's already a free retreater in the format. So, yeah, not bad, though. I like it. All right. And finally, we got the Banette. Now, this is the card I was talking about that could be pretty problematic. So, you got the attack, Cursed Speech. For 1 second energy, your opponent shuffles 3 cards from their hand into their deck. Now, you're probably looking at that like, okay, that's kind of rude, yeah, but what makes this attack so good? Well, you combine this card with something like Xerosic's Machinations, right? You play Xerosic's Machinations, your opponent is forced to discard cards from their hand until they have 3 cards remaining. So you play the Xerosic, you shrink your opponent's hand down really low, and then you play Banette, and the Banette attack will effectively put your opponent to a 0-card hand, because Xerosic puts him to 3, and then Banette will put the other 3 cards back into the deck. Now, you're not doing any damage, but you're still disrupting your opponent's hand, which is very diabolical. You can literally make your opponent go from like a 9-card hand to a 0-card hand out of nowhere with this combo, and that is a pretty deadly combo, I'm not going to lie. Now, I don't know the best, like, way to build a Banette Xerosic deck is actually, but Banette definitely could be a bit of a scary card to have in the game. We are losing some good, like, control cards, like Snorlax is just flat out of the format now with rotation. Control, Pidgey control maybe will still exist, but there isn't really any other, like, stally control decks I can think of. And then Pokemon are like, nah, we're going to print a Banette that can hand lock your opponent. That seems pretty cool. So, I don't know about that. Banette definitely scares me a little bit. The Xerosic Banette combo seems a little too broken. Like I said, Bibarel's also rotating, so, a counter to this would just obviously be play Bibarel, but Bibarel's going to be gone. You have to play, like, Reverum, the new Kilowattrel, I guess, that if it has a light energy on it, you can discard it, draw cards. That's probably going to be the better way to play around the Banette, I guess. But I don't know, man. This card is kind of stupid. Just because Xerosic exists. I mean, this would also work, too, with, like, something like Iono or... I almost said Roxanne. Iono. Roxanne's going to be gone by then. You can Iono your opponent also to a low hand at the end of the game and then Banette them. Again, it doesn't do any damage, so if you're going to build a Banette Xerosic hand control lock deck, whatever you call it, you're probably going to need to pair this with something like another attacker. Keep in mind, though, there is Banette EX in the format, so if you don't want to remove all the cards in your opponent's hand, you can always item lock them instead. In fact, the dirty combo is like, if you go Xerosic Banette, and then you put your opponent 0 cards, and they draw nothing for turn, then the next turn you can just attack with the item lock Banette, and then item lock them. So now, when your opponent goes to draw for turn, if they just draw into an item card, they can't play it. It's kind of stupid. So this card actually could be pretty dirty with the Banette EX in the format too. That'll be interesting. We'll have to see if this Banette sees play. I think it will. I mean, Xerosic Banette is kind of just a no-brain combo. Just being able to put your opponent 0 cards out of nowhere like that is pretty spooky for sure. So yeah, definitely a pretty scary card to have in the format. That Xerosic Banette combo looks good. It might be the return of a hand lock deck, but for sure this will work also with Banette EX. The Shuppet doesn't do anything crazy. I think the optimal Shuppet will still be the enveloping Shadow Shuppet. But yeah, let me know what you think of the Xerosic Banette combo down below. And let me know what you think of the Dudunsparce EX down below. I like this card. I think it's nice to have in the game. It's got a good first attack. It can be good against these big turbo basic decks that put a bunch of EXs in play to like play the game like Latias and Squawkabilly and stuff. And then obviously the Lycanroc deck could be pretty fun. It's more of like a one-prize attacker deck. We'll have to see if one-prizers survive rotation at all. But Lycanroc isn't bad either, for sure. Definitely a decent card, too. And the Spike Energy could be kind of cute with the Lycanroc. So I'm definitely excited to try out these new cards. Not excited for the Banette, though. Not excited for Banette Xerosic. That won't be a fun combo to play against. But yeah, let me know what you think of the cards down below. Once again, I'll leave a link to Pokebeach down below if you want to check out any of the cards for yourself. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 20,000 subs. Thanks for watching, and catch y'all later. Another video here very soon on the second channel. Bye-bye.